Hello everyone. So this will be a short but quite insightful video on postmodern literature. It will be an introduction that is going to help you study postmodern literature in the most easiest way. See, what is postmodern literature? We apply postmodernism, or we call postmodernism, as a movement, and this postmodernism is observed in all the areas of human activity. For example, art, literature, architecture, film, music, etc. We consider 1960s and 1970s as we locate postmodernism in 1960s, late 1960s and 1970s, and towards 1980s we started to observe the changes under the academic as a subject of academic study. Well, postmodernist features. Now let's talk about the postmodernist features. We have spoken about the timeline. Now let's talk about the postmodernist features. You can study postmodern in Ihab Hassan's work, and also there is one more philosopher, the French philosopher Jean-Francois Lyotard, and in his work, The Postmodern Condition: A Report on Knowledge. It got published in 1974. Again, you get an insightful study of postmodernism and postmodern literature. There are a few characteristics about the postmodern literature that you find in postmodern literature, a few that we have carried forwarded from modernism, and a few that make postmodern literature unique, right? So the first one is the modernist authors, the grand narratives that they were using. It became, the Western world was using grand narratives, and since Enlightenment, it came as obsolete or no longer valid in postmodernism. So this becomes one of the factors. The second one is the postmodern, the difference between the modernist and the modernist authors, that the postmodernist or the postmodernism rejects a single truth, and instead they promote a plurality of meanings, or we can say that they have focused on the coexistence of a wide variety of small narratives, none of which is inferior or superior to others. That is to bring in again the concept of deconstruction, where we are breaking the hierarchies, and again we talk about, when we study postmodern, we do focus on the language, and therefore post-structuralism comes in, and we talk about the relationship between the language and the how it is, and the reality, and the impacts that is studied properly in post-structuralism. But yes, to understand postmodernism, we touch upon post-structuralism, and always it is better to read in the more we cover, naturally the more, or you get a better understanding of the text, right? But in this lecture we are just going to talk about the postmodernism specifically. And the third point that we can talk as a salient feature of postmodernist literature is intertextuality. Intertextuality is one of the most important features of postmodernism, and there is much more about the postmodernist literature. Stream of consciousness, the narrative technique. If we talk about the narrative techniques, we do talk about the post-modernist technique. We study stream of consciousness as postmodernist technique. To name a few works of such nature: Portrait of Artist as a Young Man by James Joyce, Mrs. Dalloway, another work, again, which has a lot of use of this narrative technique called the stream of consciousness. So there is more to postmodernism, and how the modernists are different. Are different from postmodernist, and what is the contemporary theories, and what is the difference between the modernist, the postmodernist, and the contemporaries. We will study in detail in the next video. If we can call it lecture, I would like to call it an interaction. You can add yours too. Thank you for now. See you soon.